on, grab underneath. All right, Cheryl, I want you to bring your, just let your fingers relax, bring it up like that. Can you do that for me? At least a grade 3, you can go back down. All right, now can you pull it up again and hold it right there, and don't let me pull it down. Hold it, hold, hold, and she holds against max resistance for that joint, so that's a grade 5. All right, if I want to emphasize the extensor carpi radialis longus, Thomas Fish, extensor carpi radialis longus, what do I need to have her do?
Extension and radial deviation.
Okay, so can you bring your arm up like this and then pull it to the side like that? So you do that. Okay, and Thomas, what direction is my resistance?
Flexion and ulnar deviation.
Hold it right there, please. Hold it. Very good. And come on down. All right. Patty, if I want to emphasize extensor carpi ulnaris, what would I have her do?
Flexion
Flexion.
to extension to ulnar deviation.
Good. And hold it right there. And my resistance is in the direction of wrist.
Oh, wrist extension.
My resistance is in the direction of wrist flexion and
Radio.
And
I'm pulling it this
you're
way.
going that with radial deviation.
And radial deviation in order to test wrist extensors and ulnar deviators. Okay, so you can distinguish between those. Or you can just do, on your skills test, I'll have you just do straight wrist extension. But you should be able to know how to test for either one of those. I think I have some written exam questions related to that. Okay, so she can't do it against gravity at all. Deborah, Shandell, what
Yes.
position do I want her in?
A neutral position, so the side of her forearm, the lateral side of, medial side of her forearm is going to be flat on the table.
All you got to say is forearm in neutral position.
That's what I did at first. I just wanted to make it more complicated.
Okay, so same thing as we did before. Cheryl, I want you to do this movement right here. Okay, so you do that. Okay, grade 2. All right, I need to distinguish between a 1 and a 0. Oh, and I forgot to have someone do this. I'll do muscle man because he will. All right, so let's go back to the flexors real quick before we get to the extensors. All right, so this would be flexor carpi radialis palmaris longus and flexor carpi ulnaris. Now it's not quite so obvious on the extensor side right here. All right, so I've got these two thumb muscles. I know it's hard to see where you are right here. But what would this more proximal muscle coming off the supracondylar ridge of the humerus be? Brachioradialis, right. And more distal to that is the extensor carpi radialis longus. Now, it's hard to see, but the tendon, you remember, disappears underneath these two muscle tendons. It also disappears under a structure that we haven't studied yet called the extensor retinaculum, and then it shows up. So when you palpate it, you're trying to palpate this tendon at the base of the second metacarpal right there. Now you notice that extensor carpi radialis brevis also goes underneath these two thumb muscles, and you can't even see it on the model right here under the third metacarpal. So keep in mind you're kind of palpating this area right here just for a little bit of the tendon for the extensor carpi radialis brevis. So not quite as obvious palpation here. What would this muscle be? Extensor carpi ulnaris. And again, you're going to palpate it. It attaches to where?
The fifth.
Fifth metacarpal. So if you go just proximal to that, it's going to be palpating the tendon. Just distal to ulnar styloid process, right in that gap right there before you hit the fifth metacarpal is the tendon of the extensor carpi ulnaris. Not real prominent as much as you see on the flexor side.